Let go and let God is what I teach. My need to carry that message has carried over to the point where I do what I do. It makes absolutely no difference in that sense whether you hear me or not. But I will continue to teach it, and I am formulating teachers of God around me who feel the mandate of teaching this. That would have to be the case, or they would be gone from here. There are very few associations at this level of continuum that I'm seeing the light are willing to remain and do this. You particularly should be teaching this. Don't you look at her, you look over at me. Okay. You have specific assignments in this regard. Guys, I promise you that when that bell rings, you will begin to do the things that you're supposed to do in your Mission Impossible. And I'm telling you, the bell is ringing. Now, you will begin to do things that you had no idea that you were going to do. And they may seem foolish and they may be ridiculous, but you have no alternative but to do them simply because it's time to do it. I don't know if that one's ever going to get it. She got another 1,000 years. Yeah, who knows? But when it begins to happen to you, you know it. Because why? You got a purpose. Yeah. You got a mission that's absolutely impossible. That's what makes it so joyous. It's impossible, but it's going to work. This is the whole Course in Miracles. But it requires faith to surrender. I know that you suspect somewhere that I have a reason for telling you this. But my reason for telling you this is because it's what I am. Teachers of God. That's what we are, or we're nothing. Yeah. I mean, literally, a human is nothing except in his awakening process. Yeah. Except in his communication with God, he is literally nothing. How do you get through to that? I have no idea. You'll be okay. Sometimes you get associations who are very mindful and can't get it with their mind, and they're afraid to use their heart, or they're very heartful, and they can't get it with their mind. I teach a process of reasonable love. All of passion for you particularly should be in the reasonableness of what I say. Yeah. It's got shit to do with whether we do whatever we do. It just gets excitingly reasonable, and your passion can be directed to the whole incredible idea of the waking up, and your heart will be included. Don't worry about that. Jesus' teaching is heart and mind. They are indistinguishable. But the reasonable process of your perceptual mind is where your passion lies, not in sexual release, which can be done for any alternative that you want. But the more sense this makes to you, the more passion you'll have in it. It's fact. Yet you, a human being, considers, I know this is strange, but this mind believes that he must be dispassionate in his own mind in regard to what this is. And he doesn't trust his own passions in regard to it because he's been taught that I must step aside from this and examine it in relationship. That's absurd. He doesn't enter into his own association. If I went to the university, if my kids, I have lawyers, my family, they're taught to do this. Okay? When you kick the dog and burn the toast and hate your wife when you go to work, that has to be subtracted from your occupation. You understand me? And you got to study the equations of the universe and separate your personal stuff from it. It's senseless. Nothing is happening. It becomes a computer of nothing. You're not involved in this. Holy mackerel, what a terrible place to be. Not only that, but when you go into the boardroom, you set specific examples of what will be allowed to come out of that meeting. Right. I'm speaking as an old corp exec here. Right. One of the great tricks of a successful corporate, a guy who builds a good sales organization, is to let them open up without setting definitions or limitations on what the goals of the association are. Isn't that true? Right. Yeah. We began, all good corporate execs practice holy instances. They call them think tanks and put them into big bubbles where they bounce up and down and release their minds, and they allow them full flight in order to broaden the response between the cause and the effect. That's what A Course in Miracles will do for you. But since the apparent object of a course is to get you to release yourself from any associations here, that's where the conflict will lie. The course sets no goals at all in your perception. They're literally not there. It says they're all false. So some of you will come up to real high things and you'll come back down and you'll begin to struggle and look for conclusions in there. And you'll try to teach it and you'll be misunderstood and you'll undergo, have a little trust right in here. Like Jesus said in the Course, be a little trust. There's a God.
Yes.
And you are succeeding. Not only are you succeeding, but you're a lot further along. This guy is. You're a lot further along than you think you are. When things begin to happen to you and you bury them, they accumulate.
Yes.
This is what Armageddon is. You can't stop them, and you get more and more I can't bring it about in him. He's too relaxed. But finally, that's just the pressure. It's called a hermetic philosophy. That conversion that's been going on in your body builds up, and suddenly it explodes in a paranoia, for example, followed by a depression or schizophrenia or whatever goes with that. But that's what's happening to you. You have built up a lot of them if you let them happen. Let them happen, the hell with it. You're further along than you think, or you wouldn't be sitting in that chair and I wouldn't be talking to you.
Exactly.
Of course you can't hear me. If you could hear me, you'd be in heaven.
Wow.
But you've come further than you allow yourself to do. And the trick is to understand you never, 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 never literally do anything for the reasons that you say you do them.
Yes.
Never, never. You did not come here for the reasons that you think you did. How could you? The reasons are already gone. If you let them go, whole new reasons why you're here will simply emerge, because they all are a part of your mind. You may suddenly decide you're absolutely right about this. I love you. I'm going home and the hell with this. And you will be absolutely right. Did you decide that? Yeah. Yes, you did. Well, how do I know I did? I am telling you. Can't hear me. The idea that you didn't is the same as the idea that you did.
Yes.
Denial is what affirmation is.
Yes.
139.
Yes.
You got guys who are going to try to teach you this, huh? So try to be happy. I'm sorry, you're just not going to be able to die of a lady. Because it doesn't have anything to do with it.
Last week.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with intention. No, you did just a minute ago, but not quite.
Yeah.
When you do, you'll be springing up. Okay? Don't tell me what you did before. There's no such thing as before, old lady.
That's right. He's gone. It's a place in the Course where Jesus says, you get as much help as you're willing to accept. Yes.
The problem with that old lady is she thinks she knows. She doesn't know shit.
That's right.
I'm talking about being gone from the earth. I'm talking about an entirely different world.
Yes.
There's nothing at all to do with that old lady sitting there telling me her problem is solved.
That's right. That's right.
Obviously, she thinks nothing to do with that. I'm offering you something entirely different. It is not of this world.
That's
I'm
right.
going to read it to you, but I'll read it to you if you want.
Yes.
Whenever you think you solved it, you're dead wrong.
Right.
Don't you tell me you solved the problem, old lady.
Yeah.
You haven't. You solved the problem of old ladiness,
Yeah.
which only guarantees it. I'm speaking to you of reality here.
Yes.
This is a little piece of crap in your own mind. Now don't come back, I know, because you want to believe that you solved it. I'm telling you the problem is not solvable.
Yes.
Literally, I'm here
Right.
as an alien to tell you your problem is not solvable and there's no such thing as this. You're not from here. You're not a human being coming home to God. You're not a teacher of the Course in Miracles. You're not any of this. Shit, you get a lot of pain, huh? See, you just gotta trust me. Don't forget that. That's nothing. You can hear this. It's got nothing to do with what you think I am. But if you want to believe that I am that, you will be right. And you see the power of your own belief? All you had to decide, you too, once you wake up, all you had to decide when you came into this room, literally.
Yes.
Okay, now throw out the Course in Miracles. All you had to decide is that you'd had enough of this and we're going to listen to what I tell you.
Right.
Everything you brought in here is nothing.
Right.
Don't tell me it is, because I'm telling you it isn't.
Feel the box.
Nonsense. Boss of what? You can't give yourself away. You can only share with me my certainty. Setting me up as an idol or boss is absurd. Just determination to authenticate. You think you're kidding? I'm telling you, your own associations with yourself are not what A Course in Miracles is. Why are you being so tough with it? I want to sort you out. I want to give you a crack at this. I don't want to mislead you
Yes.
by accepting somebody who tells me how great they are at demonstrating. I'm telling you, there's no such place as this.
Yes.
I'll read it to you in the book, but what good's that going to do you? Stop trying to exist where there isn't any such thing. It's not what life is. You're in this transition.
Right.
Somewhere you've constructed a God that you're looking for, yet you find yourself here. One or the other is not true. And you go back and forth, and I know, and you'll spend life, and you can read that. And you'll spend another 100 years or 200 years, but it'll be equally meaningless, because it's all over. And that association over there thinks I really don't mean this. I mean literally.
Yes.
That I'm telling it can do that with its own mind. It has nothing to do with how it kicks it out and organizes I'm the boss. That's crap. You listen to me. It has to do with your secret hidden place within your own mind, guys.
Yes.
I'm teaching you the concept of yourself, not an association of concepts. This is the savior of the world individually, or it's nothing.
Yes.
And you sitting on your little buns telling me how it's just absurd.
Yes.
Of course she's in heaven. I know that. She ain't going to hear it. I don't care. I'll take her home anyway. When I go, everybody goes. There's nobody here. The only one that could possibly hear is you.
Yes.
There isn't anyone else here but you. Shall we read it together once more? It's kind of tough to teach when you really lay it out, isn't it? See, I'm accustomed to associations that are fur enough along so they hear it. I forget how difficult this might be for you. I forget how much acceptance there is in it.
Yes.
Because somehow the mind inevitably thinks I'm teaching A Course in Miracles. I'm not.
Right.
The Course in Miracles says nothing about teaching A Course in Miracles. It says you are the Course in Miracles. You teach it because it's what you are.
Yes. Yes.
But if we didn't have it, we'd had to write it. You got the workbook. And yeah? You listen to me carefully. It only takes one. And I'll do it for you, because you can hear me if you want. Don't look at him. You look at me, old lady. How many saviors of the world does it take? Huh? Really? You want to be it, or should I be? I'm perfectly willing for you. If I don't want that old lady to be, she'll tell me that she solved it. I want to share with you the unsolvability of it. The whole fun of it is the release of it. That's what the reality is, not that you're proving something. How long is it going to take you? Shit, who knows? But studying crystals and doing all the stuff you're doing ain't going to help you. You're still going to be you.
Yes.
There's no method by which you can come to this.
Yes.
Be glad.
Yes.
You got all these contrivances of how you're going to figure it out. They're nothing but retentions of your determination not to get it. Am I using that? Yeah, I'm not using it. I'm using his energy. It's real. This is called great rays. You're a lot more than a body. You're a great ray. We've all played parts. Do you understand playing parts? This is in the court. We all play particular parts. Do you know that? You've accepted a part in the drama of your own association, isn't it so?
Yeah.
Not only that, but you look the part. People look at you. I'm looking at my dear loved one. And they assign you that part. You got a part.
Right.
And you're, especially Aussies for some reason.
Yeah.
They're stereotyped. They were in jail together. So many of them have that independent attitude. And most of them weren't highway robbers. This town was formulated by a highway robber. I read about that genetic defect from the guy that founded this town. What's his name? Dan. He was convicted for 7 years for highway robbery. He was sent to Rome in 1837. So, and he's got over thousands of descendants, and they have a genetic defect that causes high blood pressure. So they want to trace back to that, and that's what we're all doing. See, we're memories. But being sent out together and being renegades are a part of the assertion of our independence. So that's the part you're playing, and that's perfectly okay. Okay? What I'm telling you is you've decided to play that part. Nobody's making you do it. You hear that? You come onto a stage where you're doing nothing but carrying a spear, and some director has told you that's the best part you're going to get. Screw it. Most of you will then go out and try to start up your own company. You say, to hell with that, I'll go off Broadway and start my own show. And you'll recruit other people in the association. But this is a drama. All we're really teaching you is set up a drama where everyone who comes into the association can see that they have a full part in the salvation. And the totality of them is in that association. There's no assignment of parts. If you came to me, I would not assign you a part. I'd tell you to be who you are. I wouldn't say you're in stage like the... I called what's his name over in the Fijis and told him to get his little puns over here. Bright John. What's his name? Dafri John. I couldn't get him. He's sulking over there in the Fijis. He had a little problem. C2H5OH. Ethyl alcohol. He had all of these lovely associations. I wish he'd come over. I wrote about him. He teaches like a typical mind that is a demonstration of itself, that there are degrees to this. One of the great teachings is that you're at 2.4, or you're at 2.5 of it, okay, or you're at 1.8 of a necessary 3. That's crap. Any percentage will prevent you from being whole. You could get up to 2.99999. But any percentage is the idea that there's a factor that can be reached through the determination of the association. And if you want me to tell Frank Jones that, I'll tell him, because I know him. All of those, Mayor Baba, all those associations, I know all those guys really well. I am. All I am is them being integrated in you. It's a step past percentage. It's not an Eastern tradition at all. It's a confrontation of your transcendental apparency with existential reality. It quite literally transcends and includes your own existence in the transformation.
Right.
Astonishing idea. So you don't sit around going and feeling good so you can come back and live in some more shit. The Course in Miracles. It puts you in a continuing admission of the shit that you're in and the release of it in order to undergo the experience. You understand me? That's Christianity. But you can call it anything you want. You can't transcend out of this.
Right. Right.
You've got to make this heaven because it is heaven.
Yeah.
Through the release of your thing. There's nowhere that earth begins in heaven. But if you're not in heaven, you're not anything. What's it like? Very much like this. Heaven. I'm in heaven. Some of you guys don't know how beautiful you are. As you begin to feel the little light energy, you allow the real you to show a little bit instead of trying to prove to me what you are. I know you. We know each other. So this mask that you've stuck out in front of you really doesn't have anything to do with what you are at all. But you must understand it has nothing to do with you. Nothing. All it is the effect of an effect. This is all good course now. The real you never participates in this. When it does, it disrupts it.
Right.
It'll cause a whole situation to change. There is no part of your association that is real. That's the fun part. Because otherwise you're just going to keep trying to prove to me that part of you is okay and part's not true. If you are separated from God, you are not real in any regard. How simple then the solution is. Simply be as God created you. Since you have no alternative to be that. You're saying, yeah, but I'm in a dream. Well, I'm waking. Geez, I'd love to find the old ones. Nobody's so as I am in this room. I'm old. Do you know how old I am? I'm 80. 86, they used to say. When I came into a place, they'd say 86. I was here in the Second World War. I died on Okinawa 50 years ago yesterday. So here I am again. It seems like we just keep doing the same thing over and over. Remember that, but you were with me. Astonishing, Andy. But we agreed to come back and play this part for a moment in this time. Okay? Josh, does that work physically in the head?
Yes.
So your old brain, female, is where all the memories are.
Yes.
The new brain is the activation, the utilization of the energy. So that the left brain, the human brain, this side, the male side, using this potential, activates the memory of this side of your brain. This is how the human mind works. And extends out from it that correlation of memory.
Yes.
That's what the eyes see.
Yes.
And they use this side of the brain. This physiology, we'll do this if you want. All humans do that. This is your new brain. The male, the activity. So you use this potential and project it out from you. Okay? And you get a reflection back in to the associations of your mind. Okay, and the more you use of this, the brighter this association will become. Paul calls it, now you look through a glass darkly. You get such a thick reflection of your own eyes, all you're getting is memories out there. Of Course in Miracles teaches you to release those memories, and your third eye will get bright. That's what will happen. So that's what happens. And suddenly you can see clearly, where is that act going on? In the cave of Brahma, in the middle of your head. Is it really? Huh? You mean the whole stage is in the middle of your head? You got these characters walking on. Astonishing idea. You can always dig up some old shit in the mind that disrupts you in your own mind. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yet it'll just as easily dissolve if you don't defend yourself from it and release it. In the Course, guys, Jesus calls this looking through. Okay? You're afraid that I'm going to look through you.
Yeah.
So you protect yourself
Yeah.
and dualistically and set up a barrier from the separateness of your mind and hide behind that barrier.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're afraid that anybody will see through you. But it's just your own mind. Huh? And within that barrier, Jesus says whole cities arise. This is right out of the Course. And all these things that are going on in there are just reflections of your own association. Huh? Now you say to me, is that in A Course in Miracles? Yeah, talks about it. But it is a real happening.
Yes.
Scary?
Mind boggles.
Huh?
The mind boggles.
We call you Helen Boggle. I'll boggle you right out of here. Boggle? Is that some sort of an expression down under? You want to go boggle? I love soft. I'll share some things. Sometime I'll share gender with you. I love soft male females.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
I love it. Like you soften down, I love you.
Right.
Because there's no real conflict going on between us. Like, I mean, obviously a male thinks I'm in competition with him because he believes he's in competition with God. His whole characteristic is competition. He's going to hold on to his female. So I don't really recognize gender.
Right.
But there are some females that have good male in them. But instead of asserting their male, they soften their male. A real male that has the heart that you have, I love.
Right.
Okay, because there's a compassion that's inherent in Aussies.
Yes.
Because they've shared enough adversity together to be sympathetic to the problems that they have with each other. You hear that?
Yeah.
So our camaraderie is based as much on this as it is on anything.
Right.
Okay, that's a trust that I have fundamentally in here. There are guys in here, you're coming along, who I trust explicitly. Clint, I trust explicitly.
Yes.
There is no possibility. Now, and that means that we died together. That means that we have shared these things. Now, you say, well, can you do that with female? I don't distinguish between them. There is no, the manner in which they bring that about is perfectly natural for them to be whole. Why are there more apparent females in the Course Association than male? Because there's more potential here that hasn't been converted. It's running about 2 to 1. Okay? It's because there hasn't been a conversion of your mind. You have heretofore depended on male associations to bring that about rather than God.
Right. Yes. Right.
Magdalene.
Right.
You have not been virginal enough to let that life from God come into you. That's what I'm opening that up for you. I'm using male essence without correspondence.
Yeah.
I'm making no demand on you for correspondence with me whatsoever. But I'm offering you your own reassociation of your own male if you'd like to use it, which is this part of your brain, reason, isn't it?
Right.
There's no reason why you shouldn't spring into life, literally.
Yes.
Some of you have established very tight defenses, but even you can do it if you decide to.
Yes.
All you have to recognize that it's only you.
Yes.
If you want it to be between you and I, or you and me, or me and you, or you and us, that's perfectly okay with me. But I will not give you the correspondence of yourself. All of the associations that have come and are now undergoing the experience have had to tolerate my non-admission of that. There's no other way you can get this. You can be insulted by it, like he is. You can get up and walk out. You can do anything you want. But the fact remains that's the only way you'll get it. You know, and somewhere you want me to tell you this. It would have to be so, or why am I telling you? So you say to me, don't tell me anymore, I don't want to hear it. The next night, I'll be talking to you. It's hard for you to hear this. And you will say to me, give me another shot at it. That's fact, this guy gets in a lot of time.
Yeah.
See, you're so far down in your own shit, okay, that you need help getting out of it. You hear me? You literally can't get out of it by yourself. If you'll accept that, it'll become very easy for you to get out of it. Real easy. That's the whole course. I'm telling you, you can't get out by yourself. You're too deep in shit. You need a later time reference.
Yep.
Yet you are a later time reference if you let yourself be.
Yes.
Those are sentences right out of the Course in Miracles. Well, how come you're telling me? That's the way it is. That's fact. That's what you present, but he does. I'm telling him that's the way it is. He'll point to me and do all sorts. Explain yourself. There's a step in perception that you make. It's kind of a nice one, where you really think you got this. This is the same as Jesus underwent when he said, Lord, I got this all figured out. Look at all the good stuff I'm doing. And false is false, true is true. Indeed. It's important you understand that my confrontation with you has nothing to do with our confrontation. It has to do with all confrontation of your nature at the level of time association that you enact. In the Course, Jesus says you're affecting constellations beyond any idea that you have. Because when the conversion occurs in your mind, it occurs in another 144,000 minds.
Yeah.
They don't have to know why it's happening.
Yeah.
They may justify it in reasons of their own association. Who cares?
Right.
I'm speaking only of light energy here. Of course it begins with an exchange, because you believe exchange is possible. That being said, I'm offering this.